from the News Channel 5 Network and the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development. This is State of the Workforce.
Hi everyone, and welcome to State of the Workforce. I'm Chris Cannon. Across Tennessee, some workers face a tough choice. Take a chance and earn more money at work or risk losing their benefits their families depend on. It's called the benefits cliff, and it doesn't just impact individual workers. Today we look at how it's shaping Tennessee's workforce and its economy. Timberly Russell is with the Martha O'Brien Center in Nashville, and she is one of the state's leading experts on the benefits cliff. Timberly, thanks for joining us today. And I think the benefits cliff might be something a lot of people have never heard of before. So let's just go over that first. What is the benefits cliff?
Thank you for asking and giving me the opportunity to answer. The benefits cliff is an experience where benefits are abruptly terminated for working families who have children that are supplementing their income with public benefits. Those public benefits could be anything such as TennCare, which is the state of Tennessee's version of Medicaid, SNAP, childcare, and housing subsidies. Any combination of those can be abruptly terminated, leaving them far worse off financially than they were prior to increasing their income. Keep in mind, an income increase can come by the way of a promotion, a raise, or additional hours at work, or even new employment. And once those benefits are terminated, the income that they have just isn't enough to meet their basic needs.
So basically, any bit of extra money or work that they get is negative because they're getting rid of all the other public assistance that was helping them make life easier for everybody.
Yes, the public benefits are somewhat of a safety net. We identify them as net resources. So net resources are the income you're making, your public benefits, minus your expenses and taxes. So when all of that clears out, now you're just left with the income that you had that may have had a little bit of an increase, but it does not equate the amount of the benefits that you've lost, which was a significant amount of your needs being met for you and your family.
So how does this become a workforce issue?
It becomes a workforce issue the moment that working adult in the family or working adults within a family unit has to choose between meeting the basic needs of their family and their well-being, and choose between maintaining a bit of increase toward their American dream or whatever that version is. It becomes a workforce issue because it is a workforce barrier. It prevents people from excelling in their career paths or even identifying one for that fact. It prevents them from being able to be found. So employers aren't able to tap into talent that is available to them because they're leaving the workforce due to the benefits cliff experience. Feeling like you have to choose between the thing you dream about and the thing you require is a hard spot to be in for working families. And it becomes a workforce issue because that is not a conversation being had. People are not going to the powers that be, whether that be on a state or federal level, and saying, hey, I have this thing that is supporting me, my safety net. It maintains me with the little income that I have, but I'm ready to move forward and increase my income. But when I do that, I'm going to be put between a rock and a hard place and make a really hard decision about the well-being of my family and my children, or increasing my income and continuing to contribute to the workforce that I'm already a part of. So then they end up leaving the workforce, therefore becoming a workforce issue and a workforce barrier.
So really it must be confusing for employers too, because the employer says, hey, I'm rewarding you for being a good employee. I want to promote you, or I want to give you a raise, and you just quit.
Yes. It is a hardship for employers too. I want to paint a picture really quick. Imagine a working single parent with 2 children, one in school, one in childcare. She goes to work every day, 5 days a week. She works hard, she makes her money, she takes care of her family, but she also is supplementing her income with public benefits like the ones I mentioned before that can be TennCare, SNAP, housing, and childcare subsidies. So let's say she has a combination of childcare and SNAP. She goes to work and gets a notification that, hey, you're going to receive a raise soon. 2 weeks later, she sees the raise on that paycheck. She's excited. It feels great because she has more money to work with. But keep in mind, she's still supplementing her income with her public benefits. Maybe a month later, she's received about 2 checks at this point. She gets a letter or a notification in the app that says you are no longer eligible for SNAP benefits due to an income increase. Now she is at the edge of a benefits cliff where she has to choose to weather that experience with less to work with to take care of her family, or accept that working with this increase is just not for her and keep her SNAP benefit, which is how she feeds her family, and choose one or the other. Oftentimes, families choose to maintain their ability to take care of their family. And food is number one on the list. That food security will cause them to say, I no longer want to work. I no longer want the promotion or the raise or the additional hours, because feeding my family healthy foods is more important.
Because she might get a $200 a month raise, but that $400 a month she's getting in SNAP benefits leaves her $200 in the hole.
Yes, because now she is ineligible for SNAP benefits, and she would have to find other means to make those ends meet. For employers, we want to be a knowledge provider to inform them and educate them on how to see the benefits cliff as it happens in their workforce and give them tools and resources to address it. So what we've done is we've done luncheons, webinars, symposiums. We participated in industry events and workforce events to educate employers on this issue so that they're sensitive to it, aware of its existence in their organizations. But then we follow up by painting that picture with some resources. We have an employer toolkit. We have Martha O'Brien Center, which has a set of wraparound services that anyone can come through that door and get support. But then we also refer them to our current pilot, Our Chance Tennessee, which works to address the benefits cliff specifically for working families with low income.
Well, what can employers do? And should they need to do anything?
First, we want employers to understand that we are not blaming them for this issue. Mm-hmm. This is not their fault. The second thing they can do is simply allow themselves to be aware that it exists. Having awareness and knowledge makes them sensitive to the issue so that that population within their workforce is not ostracized and set aside or looked at as the problem child because they're receiving public benefits or have to make a hard decision between a promotion, a raise, additional hours, or even maintaining their employment against losing their safety net. Those are the first two things that we like employers to do. The third thing, we'd like for them to connect with me or anyone who is doing benefits cliff work so that we can provide them with tools, best practices, and even resources that they may not be aware of that supports them while they support the employees that they have that may be experiencing this.
And this is also something that the state government and federal government knows is out there, and they're doing things as well and make step downs and different benefits and things like that. How's that work?
Some states and local governments outside of Tennessee currently are doing things that directly impact benefits, such as you described, step down program in reference to SNAP or even Medicaid. But in the state of Tennessee, where it lies, it's not necessarily with our public benefits or our local government specifically. Martha O'Brien has an opportunity to show our state what the best thing to do is and how the family that has a low income can succeed and excel beyond the benefits cliff when it no longer exists or when it's been removed from their lives. So we're doing demonstrations and managing a pilot that shows what that looks like so that Tennessee can become a state that is doing something that directly addresses the benefits cliff.
Because we need everyone who can be in the workforce to be in the workforce, and this for not to be a barrier. Well, that is a great explanation. You stay right there. We now have a better understanding of the benefits cliff and how it's impacting Tennessee's workforce. When we come back, we'll go over the action plan the Martha O'Brien Center is putting together to keep folks away from the cliff. Stay with us. We are continuing our conversation about the benefits cliff in Tennessee. Let's talk about Our Chance Tennessee. You mentioned that a little bit in the first segment. What exactly is that program and what's it doing here in the state?
Our Chance Tennessee is Martha O'Brien's demonstration. It is managed by the Tennessee Alliance for Economic Mobility, better known as TAME. TAME, along with 32 partners throughout Middle Tennessee, have the ability to manage Our Chance and provide 16 counties the services that meet the benefits cliff head on. What it does is provides families that are experiencing the benefits cliff a wraparound services of supports that include transitional benefit, family-centered coaching, a plethora of coaching sessions happen. There are things that a person can receive that will help soften the blow of the benefits cliff, almost to the point of removing it from their experience so that they can focus on their upward economic mobility. It is a randomization because it is a pilot, and it is our ability to make proof points for the state to show them what families with low incomes can actually do and succeed in doing when the benefits cliff is removed. What we're doing with this pilot is we are giving people an opportunity to exit poverty, which is what Martha O'Brien's focus and mission is to help those who are experiencing poverty lift out of it by putting them in the driver's seat and letting them tell us what they need, because they are the experts in their families. So Our Chance does the same thing, just focused on the benefits cliff. That combination of services that they're provided are provided to them for as long as they need them, with evaluation maybe about every 4 months. And the hope is that once we have engaged them long enough, that after 18 months, we can see what the big picture is and show some really good results of what this pilot has done here in Middle Tennessee.
And they really can impact a person's life. And we have a story of Danielle, and she's going to show us exactly the impact it had on her life.
I've got so much.
I got a management job offer. I aced the interview. I was so excited about this position. Ultimately, I did not officially take the position because what I found out was as I made more money, it would put me in a situation where I would lose my food assistance. I would be working a lot more hours, so I'd be paying more childcare. My rent would go up, and I could possibly lose my son's insurance. I just think that it's going to really help families to not feel alone, to know that there is somebody out there that sees them and they can be their true selves. They won't be stuck in that vicious cycle of benefits, and they can soar.
And that's a real life success story right there of that program. And tell us more about the program and how folks can get involved in it or take advantage of it.
As I said before, so Our Chance is managed by TAME, and we serve families throughout 16 counties in Middle Tennessee. And we have 32 partners that support that in every county. A person can access Our Chance by going to ourchancetn.org or simply coming by the Martha O'Brien Center and coming through that door. There is no wrong door to get support or services, whether that's for Our Chance or Martha O'Brien. I want to be able to highlight for people that it is a pilot where we are still taking enrollment. When we first started it back in 2022, the goal was to serve at least 900 families. And I will share with you now that we have reached well over 1,200 families.
Wow.
And we've seen about 64% of those families have a $20,000 increase in their annual income. Those results alone means that we want people to know that something is working in this mixture of services that we're providing to people by removing the benefits cliff out of the way, but it's also showing that we can do more. And so this pilot has not come to an end. It has more time under its belt to complete it, and we want people to use it. So if someone has the ability to get to the Martha O'Brien Center, they can come in and get registered and determine whether or not they're eligible. If not, simply go into ourchancetennessee.org, which is ourchancetn.gov, to see if they're eligible on the website is the best way to do it.
And that's more people in the workforce, fewer people on public assistance or not as much public assistance. So that's a real win for the state.
Absolutely. What it does is it paints the picture of impacting the workforce in a positive way, because now we have more talent coming into the workforce, more people that are motivated to increase their skill set, whether that's going to a 2-year college or a technical training that they can get in 18 months. Whatever that combination of excelling is in their careers, they're motivated to do it, and they're willing to make other sacrifices for time and access to increase their skills so that they can take a career path and not just a job. Folks who have career paths impact the workforce positively because they're willing to stay in it and continue to contribute to it. And as they excel, they're opening up a pathway behind them for someone to start that same journey. And at some point, that cycle is perpetuated. For the state, it brings in more taxpayers. They are paying taxes because they are working and they have money to contribute and to spend in our communities where they live. So that cycle is also perpetuated positively because there's an influx of income being earned, but also that income is being spent, which produces revenue for our great state.
And it makes a generational change. You know, if a young person sees their mother or father finally working and not being dependent on public assistance, now they have something to aspire to or to a goal to work up to. So it has that big impact too. It's not just here and now, it's generational.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that, because part of Martha O'Brien's approach to these things called public services or public benefits, the benefits cliff, poverty, anything that holds a person back from excelling and being who they want to be or accessing their American dream, we approach it with a whole family, or what we call a 2-generational approach. So you're right, it does have generational implications of positivity, because a parent excelling and reaching their dreams and goals will automatically motivate their children to do the same.
All right, well, you stay right there. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Martha O'Brien Center and what's being done to keep the benefits cliff away from folks. Stay with us, everyone. We are continuing our conversation with Timberly Russell, and you said the Martha O'Brien Center many times, and that's the center behind this program. But what is the Martha O'Brien Center? It's been around Nashville for more than 130 years.
Do you see my smile? I got excited because I'm ready to talk about Martha O'Brien. Yes, Martha O'Brien Center is a 131-year-old nonprofit, but it happens to be nestled in the center of one of the largest public housing properties in the state of Tennessee, which is Casey Homes. And what that does is it gives them a unique structure where they can directly connect with the community and listen. Sometimes we just don't listen enough, and we throw a lot of things at a problem without coming with a question. And what Martha O'Brien does is they ask the community, what is it that you need to exit poverty? And they listen, and then they respond with the resources. I won't say Martha O'Brien is a one-stop shop, by no means, because we're not, but we do have a plethora of services and resources for a family that wants to exit poverty and are willing to do the work and meet us in the middle to do that. We can serve them through whatever door they go in through, because we are approaching families with a 2-generational approach or a whole family approach, meaning that if we are serving the mother or the father of that family, we are also serving the children, because education is very important to exiting poverty.
So it's right there in the Casey Homes. It's a beautiful facility. I've been there before. What type of programs can a family find there?
A family can come in and they can find programs that address education. So we have adult education, we have pathway boot camps, which provide some technical training for those high seeking industries, the industries that are in demand currently. They can come in, they can find health and well-being programs to encompass their entire well-being, whether that be mental, physical, or health-wise, meaning that they'll be taught how to eat healthy foods. They can come in and go to our food pantry and get their food services met should they ever lose their SNAP benefit or just not have enough to eat that month. They can come to the food bank throughout the week. They can also come in and get crisis intervention. If they're experiencing a specific type of crisis and they need some immediate response to that, they can come in and get that as well. We also have schools associated with our organization, and specifically our Early Learning Center, where children can come and experience joy while their parents are at work. But we also have a drop-in feature where a parent can come in and do a drop-in for their child when they've started a new employment, so that that is not a barrier for them to turn down a job because they simply don't have childcare, as one of our feature support services that we provide to the community.
So it really is a little bit of everything that can help the community and make things a little better. What do you like most about working at the Martha O'Brien Center?
We have 2 buildings. One building is called Faith. The other building is called Hope. And as you interact between those 2 buildings, you find love. Because no matter what part of our property that you go to, there is a community member, and then there's a service member. There may be a volunteer, but there are babies, children in between where the Early Learning Center is. And the thing I like the most is that we're not so detached from the community, doing the work with our head down, trying to figure out solutions to problems that we haven't discussed, but we are integrated in the community, where I can walk down the sidewalk, instead of saying, hello, coworker, I'm saying, hello, neighbor, hello, community member, hello, mom, grandma, dad, brother, sister. They are all around us all the time. So I'm never in a position where I'm losing my finger on the pulse of the community that I work so hard for.
And how important is it to be there in the middle of everything, so they don't have to go far to come to you, and you don't have to go far to come to them? That has to make a big difference.
It's extremely important. Important to the point where if they're able to easily access the resources and services that they need, it's easier for them to do tough things, such as go outside of Casey Home, outside of Martha O'Brien, and excel in life.
And it's been here for over 130 years, so obviously it's doing something right. What's the future hold?
The future, I think, holds us having a reach beyond just East Nashville, just beyond Nashville, Davidson County, beyond Middle Tennessee, throughout our actual country, because we're already doing work that reaches on a national level with Beyond the Cliffs Coalition. And because we're focused on federal policy change, we will be going to DC soon this month to present some policy suggestions for the benefits cliff to see if we can start making some change happen on a legislative level.
Because the benefits cliff, as we said, it is a workforce issue. If we can get people to not be afraid to work because they're afraid of losing that benefits assistance, then they'll have more people in the workforce and make everything better for everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, an interesting conversation. Timberly, thank you very much for joining us today. You did a fantastic job explaining something I think a lot of people, one, don't know about, have never heard about, and now understand a little better why it's impacting our workforce. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that is the state of Tennessee's workforce. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. You can learn more about the department's programs available to all Tennesseans at tnworkready.com. And of course, you can find us on social media as well. We'll see you next time on State of the Workforce.